Hello, wonderful people, viewers and subscribers. This one is about the same man, Galadima. This man is one man I love so much because of one thing. He speaks the truth. And he speaks the truth to the very government. At one point, he supported this government, but at this point, he was bold enough to come out and say, this is not the kind of government I supported to go into power. Listen to him. I'll be right back.
Following the massive protests that rocked Lagos and other cities in Nigeria, as young people demanded to be heard over police brutality, the federal government decided to scrap the offending unit known as Special Anti-Robbery Squad. But in a move that further incensed the protesting youth, Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, announced that disbanded Special Operations Unit would be replaced by a Special Weapons and Tactics Unit. To what purpose, many asked. Everything went downhill from there, including further erosion of the young people's confidence in government to fulfill its own part of the bargain regarding their demands. And right on cue, politicians from both sides of the divide appear to have found a way to anchor their latest clamor for a restructuring of Nigeria on the hashtag ENDSARS protests. The flames of those protests are yet to die down and may in fact grow stronger, what with the current efforts by government to hunt down the arrowheads of that movement and the waves of pushback it's been getting as a result. We're now joined by Buba Galadima, a businessman and politician. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Ma.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us. Well, I mean, there's no point asking you any lengthy question. What's your assessment of the state of the nation? Within the context of the hashtag ENDSARS protest, how all of that has been handled and the way forward with regard to security reform, restructuring the country, and delivering better service to the people of Nigeria.
Well, Doctor, as far as I'm concerned, the ENDSARS protests had been an eye-opener. And even if there is nothing, there was one big achievement that after all, this government can quickly address people's feeling and urgently too. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have expected this government to say a word over what had happened. After all, they are human and their invincibility has been broken into pieces. Their pride and arrogance had been defeated by these young men. And I commend the young men for starting this ENDSARS protest, even though their primary goal of disbanding the SARS unit of the police, elite unit of the police, has not been achieved because it was only a change of name. All the personnel are there intact. There is no psychological reorientation to really address issues raised by these young men. But of course, thank God that the government responded out of fear and they are jittery, running from pole to pole across the country. And for the first time that this government has sent its own ministers to their various states of origin to address the people. This we never had. So now, what does it mean? It means that if Nigerians stand up for what they believe in and is genuine, not out of primordial sentiments, but just patriotism to address good governance, that this government or any other government must respond appropriately. And I want to add quickly that what to do is for all of us in this country to stand up and ask for genuine, proper electoral reform, so that the votes of the people will count, such that the views of the people will count, that the needs of our teeming population should be addressed by whatever government that is in place.
Thank you, sir. You've remarked, well, with surprise at the responsiveness of the government, how quick they were to attend to the demands of the protesters. That's on one hand. On the other hand, you have a situation whereby ENDSARS protesters and promoters and those deemed to be in those two categories are being harassed, arrested, their accounts have been blocked, they've been prevented from travel. What do you make of this mixed messaging?
That is not correct. I mean, the message is correct, but what the government has done is not right. And they have no such right, they have no such powers to block bona fide Nigerians from traveling out of the country, from accessing or having a window into immigration to obtain passports, or having their accounts been blocked. Blocked for what? What have they done? These young men were peacefully protesting actions or acts or omissions or commissions of government. Why do you, after you persuaded them, or after allegedly agents of government attacked and killed them, as rumors have it all over the country, why do you now follow them with this draconian disposition of blocking their accounts, stopping them from traveling? And that is not constitutional. The government should please, and I'm sending this message to Mr. President, whether he knows or he doesn't know, let him be shown what I am saying. His people have no right to do what they are doing. Please, they should desist and unlock the accounts of these young men, allow them to carry on with their normal activities as Nigerians. You cannot harass them. We are in a democracy. We are not in a military regime where the officer, the senior officer will tell you, look, Dr. Ruben Abati, do you see that fire? You say, yes, sir. Go and fall inside and die. And you salute him and say, yes, sir. You go and fall into the fire and die. This is democracy. Everything must be placed on table. After all, those in authority are our own servants. They are not our masters. They should take a cue from what we've told them to do. That is why we voted for them. They cannot load it over Nigerians.
Right. With all of this and the security situation of the country, the calls for restructuring have become bigger in the last days. In fact, even with the security situation, most importantly, look at states like Edo State. I think it was a pilot that reported this morning that Benin is under siege. After the ENDSARS protest, you have about 39 people killed, and the killings just continue in the country. So a lot of people are calling for restructuring, state police, and the future of our union as a country. I mean, what's your take on all of this?
You see, I am a believer in restructuring, but I don't know the correct definition of this restructuring that people are clamoring for. Bringing state police and native authority police is because we have young men who have never experienced those periods in life. There is a reason why the native authority police or the state police were disbanded. I want to tell you and let the nation know that the emirs and chiefs that had native authority police are more humane than our present governors. If some of you make the mistake of having a state police, let me tell you that this is the end of democracy in Nigeria. Because people like me or you may never have the privilege to visit your own states if you have a different political opinion with the governors in those states. Even without state police, they use the national police to intimidate, to harass, to maim, and lock up opponents. If now these people are completely under their control, only God may save us. But we need to think deeply. There are a lot of things we can do to really ameliorate the situation. Look, you can't go from Abuja to Kaduna now. For the last 1 week, people are being kidnapped. People are being sold like ram in the market. They kidnap you, they sell you to another agent, you go 3-4 hands before you get released. And if you cannot raise money, you are shot. Look, we are in trouble. And this government, as Scholar Alagbadion has said, has promised us that they will provide security, and we believed them because the man at the helm of affairs had been a general officer commanding, had been a governor of a state, had been a minister, had been a head of state, military head of state, now a civilian head of state. He has all it takes to do what is right and bring about the end of insecurity in our land. Without security, we cannot progress, we cannot develop, we cannot move forward. These are the issues. The issue is not sentiment that when one thing happens, we rush to say we restructure. And I am not, can somebody please tell me what is this restructuring? I have got my own definition. And if there is a conference, I will sell that definition and it will be accepted by Nigerians, not in the manner and way certain people address these issues.
Well, sir, we hope that you will give us an opportunity to know what your definition of restructuring is before we end this program. But there's a lead story on the front page of This Day Today, where, and this is not a new issue, the story is titled, Prominent Nigerians More Southern Presidential Candidates for 2023. And we're being told that major power brokers in Nigeria have been meeting, they've been consulting, even former heads of state and presidents are involved, and that there is an emerging consensus that the next president of Nigeria in 2023 should come from the southern part of the country for purposes of unity and stability. And if you have read the story, sir, you see all the names mentioned there, from Chief Adebanjo to President Obasanjo, to General Babangida, to Chief E.K. Clark. I mean, these are key figures in Nigerian politics. What do you think? And when we're discussing with Kola Ologbondiyan, it was also about, the power should shift to the south, to the southeast in particular, in 2023.
Well, let me make 2 points. First, I had your discussion with Kola Ologbondiyan over such issues. And I also went through this morning and found all those names you are mentioning. But the most important thing, Doctor, is that why do we do things just reacting or making a reflex over an issue that has just surfaced or is surfacing? We are in a democracy. Everybody is free to say his mind and put forward his opinion on issues. I have a standing view for the last 42 years, from 1978 to date, on the issue of zoning. And I have attended various constitutional conferences, 1987, 1994, 2014. And my views are not hidden. If we are discussing democracy, and we are always quick to say that we should do as they do in Europe, we shall do as they do in America, even though I will now take out America, because they are becoming another Cameroon in the making, politically. If not, how can you say in a democracy you have to fix leadership? I can vote for any Southerner any day if that person has the kind of views or opinions or foresight or vision as I would want. After all, there is a president now from northern part of the country who is supposed to be a Muslim like myself. And I ask, what has he done to northerners or to my religion, having been one? I can't travel from here to Abuja. The day before yesterday, I left Abuja to go and condole the families of Alhaji Balarabe Musa. I ended up not visiting the house because I found out at 5:30 that the train will leave at 6. I was seeing the house, but I couldn't enter. I had to come back. And yesterday, traveled to Lagos and come back by air. These are the kind of situations that we find. If anybody, Dr. Ruben Abati, for example, can provide me security, economic prosperity, build roads, infrastructure, take my children to school, health services provided, why do I have to look for another Abu Bakr or Muhammad or whosoever? The issue is good governance. let all of us Nigerians come up and address the issue of good governance as they had done in Malaysia. What is the basic minimum that our communities need, that our country needs? Let's agree on all those issues, and whoever we put forward as our choice must walk by what we have designed to make Nigeria look like in the 4 years that he is going to be in power. We will start things that we can never dismantle. Just like you increase fuel price of commodities go up. They will never come down. It keeps on going. We have started with 3 regions, or 2 protectorates, 3 regions, 4 regions, 12 states, 19 states, 21 states, 30 states, 36 plus Abuja states of the Federation. Yet, Nigerians are clamoring for more states. There will be no end to this. If you say you are zoning presidency to the north, next time people will say it should be zoned to regions within the north. They will say let it be zoned to states. They will say let it be zoned to local governments. In fact, Nigerians will ask for zoning of presidency to wards. There will be no end to it. What we need is we as Nigerians must agree that this is what we want Nigeria to look like. We work for Nigeria, not for tribe, not for religion, not for ethnicity, and not for where somebody comes from. If you zone this presidency to any place based on clamor, then it means that man is going to be there for only his own people. Is that what we want? We are crying of deprivation, nepotism that is being visited on Nigerians by this government. Now we want to go and bring people based on tribe, region, or ethnicity. Where is it going to end?
It's certainly not what we want, sir. We all want a meritocracy like what you have just described. To paraphrase Martin Luther King, where we don't judge people from, well, not the color of their skin, not the tribe that they come from, but the content of their character. However, some would argue, and I'd like you to address this argument, sir, that it's unfair to decide on this meritocracy now, that we should wait until the Southeast has had their bite of the cherry, and then we can start going into that, but that it's unfair and it's an injustice for the 2023 presidency to not be zoned to the Southeast.
Do you want to be president?
Not at all. Heavens no.
Huh?
Absolutely not.
Why? You are Nigerian.
No, thank you.
You are Nigerian and you speak eloquently.
No, you're very kind, sir. Thank you. But no,
I wouldn't know your background, but at least from the way you speak, you are intelligent, you are eloquent, and you can do better to represent me at the African Union meeting or in the United Nations.
Thank you, sir.
You can. Yes, so the issue, if you say that, me, I come from the Northeast, and I tell you we never produced a president, what will you tell me? What will you tell me? We have never produced one.
I would urge you to
So we are not marginalized.
Yes, I would urge you to wait for the best candidate. I prefer meritocracy, of course, but there are those who really do not.
This is why we presented one last time. You rejected him. We presented one last time. Atiku Abubakar is from the Northeast. He was rejected. You see, the issue is that it is not something that is enforceable by a constitution of the whole country, unless, of course, there is no freedom of choice, no section 44 of the Constitution. If there is, you can't do that. Let political parties do it as a matter of strategy to win election. I have a lot of friends from the Southeast. Ojiuzo Kalu, Governor Obi, Ikweremadu, Roches Okorocha, Dr. Ogbone Onu, and a host of several prominent Nigerians from that region. I can vote for any of them if he presents himself and carries the people. But I am not agreeing to a president from the southeast. I am not agreeing to Igbo presidency because it is suspect. That is why I tell my friends, my Igbo friends, that please remove that language from your dictionary. There is nothing like Igbo presidency, but there can be an Igbo man that we can wholeheartedly support and fight for to become the president of Nigeria. But once you tribalize it, every Nigerian will now think, is he going to be the only president for Igbo or for Southeast alone? He has to be the president for Nigeria. Have you seen the philanthropic gestures people like Oju Zakalu, Roches Okorocha, and others are doing in some parts of the country? Doesn't that qualify them to be presidents of Nigeria? Please, come on. We should stop that, because once we say it has to be zonal, we started with zonal. You are president from Northeast now, and it will take another 36 years to come. It means for the years that you are going to be in power, everything has to be concentrated in the Northeast to the detriment of the other parts of the country. And that is not good enough. Nigerians should be forthright and truthful. We shouldn't be ingrates like what APC is doing by checking out those who have assisted them to get into power. Look at this ENDSARS. They accuse one of their own of having sponsored this ENDSARS. They now come back to say that that fellow is the one that is asking the police and the soldiers to kill people. Either way, we lose. We shouldn't run a country in that line. We should be large-hearted and accommodate everybody. And in the face of governance, you must make sure that you also see one of your own, however remotely. Today, nobody can even get promotion, according to rumors in the country, that without giving a bribe for him to be promoted. That you cannot. I have children, and I know they come to ask me for money to give for employment. I have 7 of them. With the doctor, with some of them medical doctors, some of them, all of them have master's degrees. They can't work because I have no money to give. Is that the kind of Nigeria that we are looking for? If you are talking of meritocracy, so I have to be in power or to be a House of Rep member or senator or governor or in the presidency for me to get my children get appointment? These are the kind of things that we will restructure.
Okay. Okay, Alhaji, real quickly, I would like to know the definition of restructuring. And secondly, what are the things we can learn from the life of Balarabe Musa as a person? And I want to know your definition of restructuring. Great. Yeah. And the things we can learn from Balarabe Musa as a person.
My own definition of restructuring is very, 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 very simple. Let Nigerians sit down and look at the present and yesterday. Was it good enough for us? If it is not good enough for us, what can we do to make Nigeria better? It's not sentiments. And we have a lot and a host of it. Alhaji Balarabe Musa has been a great man, a fighter for social justice, somebody who believed in the unity of this country, who agrees to be deprived of whatever. And I want to tell you a story that governors are building houses in Abuja or in their states of origin for themselves as they leave office. Alhaji Balarabe Musa was asked by the Kaduna state government that they want to build a house for him. He said he doesn't need a house. He has only one house, nearly 30 years old Mercedes 200, and 1986 Honda car, 1986, and a farm. These are the only things he has before his death. And he rejected government building house for him as former governor. You know that in certain states, governors take as much as 5 billion naira to build a house for themselves for retirement. And they take their salary for life when they leave. Yet, They do not work for the people. So these are the kind of restructuring in the life of Alhaji Balarabe Musa that we should be looking for. Why should somebody who has been governor for 2 years, or 4 years, or 8 years, should have all these privileges, and the ordinary people on the street cannot have 1 meal per day? This is the restructuring. How do we put food on the table for every Nigerian? How do we secure every Nigerian to go to the farm without inhibition to do his farming and make a living? How can we make it possible for a Nigerian to travel from one point to the other to either visit relatives or do his business without being harassed on the road by kidnappers, by hoodlums or whatsoever? How can the son of Mr. Nobody get employment in civil service? I was coming from Kaduna the day before yesterday when I went for this condolence, and I met a young man who told me that his father was a general manager in NNPC, and he went to Nile University and got first class in petroleum engineering, first class. For 5 years, he had no job. He went to do an exam for local content council, which could not even hold. First class. But the sons of Mr. Somebody with past degree are getting employments all over. This is the kind of Nigeria that we must address. And we don't believe that in any society we cannot have 1 or 2 people that are good and can be trusted with power. As I will suggest that parties should look and do justice to us, that all sections of the country must have access, not by law, not by law.
Okay, quickly, sir. You said earlier on that nobody from the Northeast has been president of Nigeria, but I recall General Sani Abacha is Kanuri from the Northeast. Yeah, but you may say he was a military...
With the Kanuri tribal marks.
Yes, you may say he was a military leader. We would have loved to ask you...
No. Let's leave it at that.
Yes.
You are what you are. You are what you profess to be. General Abacha, all his records indicated that he's from Kano. He was born in Kano. And I want to tell you that all those that were governors of Kano, only one of them can be verified to be an indigene of Kano. So it's a cosmopolitan state. Anybody can come. Once he aligned with the culture of the people, he could be anything in Kano. Of course, he's one of us. He's from the north. His parents were from the northeast, but Abacha was from Kano. And all his records indicate that he's from Kano. We should take it to be what he ascribed to himself.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for joining us on the morning show.
He is one few elders that will live longer. He is from the north. He speaks the truth. It doesn't matter where you come from in Nigeria. The truth of the matter is that truth is universal. Truth has no ethnicity or religion. Truth is truth anywhere it comes from. So, keep watching as we keep exposing the government of impunity, the government that do not have the feeling of their people, the government that is so insensitive to the plight of Nigerians and making the lives of Nigerians worse than ever before. Share this video widely, let the world get to know, and more Nigerians let their eyes open, because some think and have hope that Nigeria will one day be redeemed. But there is no hope for Nigeria if Nigerians are not ready to free themselves from oppressive and wicked governance, beginning with how you allow people to get into power. Stop being used. Stop being used to buy and sell elections. Stop being used to be rigged, to rig these people into offices. Stop following them blindly. Boycott them. Boycott their campaigns. Boycott their activities. Strip them naked, and they will know that they are not leading anyone. They are already leading themselves alone. So please share this video widely as we continue to bring you more insightful programs and videos on this platform. I am Asu Chinedu Peters saying, like, share, subscribe, follow us on all our social media platforms, and don't forget to also follow me on our social blog. Stay safe. Goodbye.